Nobody shall wield Excalibur but me!
Uther. He who draws the sword from the stone, he shall be king.
What is up, YouTube? Prop Guy back here today. We're going to be doing a fun, quick little project. I have here a replica of Excalibur that a buddy of mine gave me about a year or two ago. And it came with a wall plaque that you hang it on. And me being the nerd that I am, I realize that's not the correct way to display Excalibur. So we are going to build the stone for the sword in the stone. So what we have here is a very heavy Excalibur. This probably weighs about 7 or 10 pounds, and it's very top heavy. What we have is a giant fake rock. It's made out of a fiberglass looking like material, maybe plastic. I don't know, kind of looks like fiberglass. One of the two. Anywho, this thing is hollow, but it's painted up pretty nicely on the outside. Looks very rock-like. And it's got good texture and pretty good paint. So, paint-wise, I probably won't do too much to it. I might try to add like a little bit of green moss. Since I maybe just a hint of black wash to bring out some details. Other than that, it's pretty solid. The problem is, it is hollow. So this, maybe weighs about half a pound. So it's quite light. So you just sticking it through here, it's gonna top over pretty good. But it's got a good wide base. So what we're going to do is try to add some weight to this. We're going to try to fill it up with expanding foam. Now, expanding foam is a great thing to build props out of, especially foam props or dioramas. It's very easy, cheap. You can carve, make all sorts of cool rock formations and things out of it like that. But we're going to fill it in here, try to fill up this whole area, and hopefully they'll add enough weight that will offset maybe somewhat, and especially hold it in. And then we're just going to take our Dremel here, cut a hole here in the top, and hopefully that'll hold this. If it doesn't, if it wants to topple over still, because it'll be displayed in this corner, so hopefully it'll not move too much. But if it is going to move some, what we'll do then is just carve out some of this foam and then add something to help increase the weight, maybe some wood blocks or something of that nature. Just basically help balance out and add more weight to the bottom. And then we'll seal it up with some more foam. And that should be a quick, easy thing to fix that. So we're going to move camera outside and we're going to start spraying our foam and our fake rock. And that's going to take some while to cure. This is a step you definitely want to do outside because the chemicals in expanding foam, rather harmful stuff to breathe. If you do have to be around it, try to wear some sort of mask or not breathe the fumes if you can. That's why it's a pretty nice day outside. It's kind of cool, but there's some wind, but there's still probably a good amount of sunlight and everything. It's roughly about 77, 80 degrees, so it's going to take some time to cure anyway, so this should be a good time to get a good jump start on it. So hold on just a second, we'll be right back. Okay, so we got a rock here, and we got this great stuff, expanding foam. This is the brand I'm going to use. And we're just going to pop her off there. I'm going to screw our spray nozzle on. Alright, like so. And it says shake for about a good solid minute. Watch here, we're going to time it. Now this stuff cures in 8 hours, but is not tacky after about 15 minutes. Now this will expand about between 30 and 60% volume compared to what it is in the can. Now that is going to be somewhere in that range depending on outside conditions, temperature, and humidity. This stuff doesn't really cure till it hits moisture in the air. That's what causes it to cure. It forms a chemical reaction. And I'm almost there. Now, I've not really ever worked with this stuff before, so I'm not exactly sure how it's going to spray out how much I'm going to need. So hopefully 1 can will do it. And we're at a minute, so stop that. Reset that. Hopefully this will not end badly. And it looks like 1 can is not going to do it. Now this will expand out and up hopefully. But like I said, we might have to do another can or two. Because this is a big void. This is usually used to fill cracks and stuff. It's not really meant to fill voids. And this is kind of a void, so you want to be careful of working this stuff. Like I said, you don't want to breathe it. Technically, you're supposed to wear eyewear and gloves, so that's probably, I'm setting a bad example here. Do as I say, not as I do. I think this can is about had it. Yeah, that's done. So we're going to let this cure for about 8 hours, so we'll come back tomorrow, see what it's like. Alright, so we had to add 2 more cans. Unfortunately, 1 wasn't enough. It was a lot more humid the 2nd and 3rd cans. I did those on different days. So it was a lot more humid those 2 days. So I got a lot more expansion than I did on that 1st can. It was humid, but nowhere near like it has been the past couple days. So we got a lot of expansion here. And it's a lot heavier now, so hopefully that'll help offset a few things. Now, it didn't quite seal and adhere all the way back in here like I would have hoped. But I think that's part of it, just really slick surface on the inside. What I should have done is taken some sandpaper and scratched it up and roughed it up on the inside. Kind of like how the outside texture is. That probably would have helped adhere a little bit better. Obviously, for some reason, I had some shoot out over here, so we're just going to pop that off. Ooh. And that took off some paint, unfortunately. This is, however, going to be the back side, so not too big of a deal. Now, this stuff is a lot more dense than I actually expected it to be. I expected it to be a little bit more hollow on the inside. Okay. So we'll put this over, set it down like so. And there's something I was afraid of. It's a lot heavier, but it's a little bit more wobbly than I thought it would end up being. So what we might have to do is shave off just a few little nub areas. We'll probably do this with a knife real quick, and that should help solve a few things, help that sit flush. It feels a lot denser and heavier, so hopefully that will limit us toppling over, especially if I'm shoving it up against something. I can hopefully lean it back, not have to dig out a bunch and add a bunch of weight or anything at the bottom. So we're going to get a knife, and we're going to start cutting. Serrated kitchen knife here, and we're going to hack away at this. Ooh. Any problem areas that we think might just be a little too high. This stuff just cuts so easily. I mean, it is foam, so it cuts like butter. I want to take off as little material as possible, so I'm going to keep throwing it down and checking it out. That's quite a bit better already. Probably should have done this outside. This stuff is going to get just about everywhere. I want to keep throwing it over, checking so we don't cut off too much. It's almost about perfect. A lot messier than I thought it was going to be. Oh, that's almost got it.
Slight wobble.
And that's pretty much got it. I mean, there's a slight wobble. I have to say that's part of it where just the foam has expanded the shape out a little bit, so it's not exactly flush as it was once before, but a lot better than it was, a lot more sturdy. So now I want to trace out about where I want the hole to be at the top, and we're going to take a Dremel, cut that in. There's a good little indentation there. I think that's where it's going to start, and I'll just go up about yay wide. I'm going to trace it out in probably a pencil because I don't want to show up too much afterwards. I'm going to trace it out and then do a quick cut with our Dremel. We'll stab her through and see what we got. Hopefully this is as simple as that. If not, we will figure it out as we go along, so stay tuned. Alright, so here we have it, the finished final piece. This turned out a lot better than I thought it would. I actually might like it better than my bat signal. Even though I really still love my bat signal, this is such a big, in-your-face, satisfying piece to look at. It's so simple to build. That's what's great about it. I already had the sword. A buddy gave me Excalibur about a year or two ago. So really all I had to do was just a little bit of spraying foam after I found the rock. Quick Dremel cut, which was so simple. Literally took like 15 seconds. Stab the sword in and voila, you have it. And what's great about this is the foam did a lot better job holding it in than I thought it would. So obviously there's still that built-in wobble, just a little bit. It's only when you really move it. It's actually pretty sturdy still. You know, this is a big, heavy sword. It probably weighs about 5 to 7 pounds, maybe a little bit more than that, maybe closer to 10. The handle is very top heavy, but it's holding it in really well. And now I measured that the top here was about 17 inches. And the blade up to here, where the hilt starts, is 35 inches. So I figured it would cover about half the sword in there, and I don't even think I went down that far. If we turn her in and look up, there is no blade sticking out the bottom or anything like that, so there's still probably a bit more foam left. I could go shove her down in further, but I don't see the need for that. Particularly, I don't want to damage floors or anything like that. Or, I mean, it's holding it in quite well now, so there's no it's not going to topple over or anything. So there's no need to push it in any further. There's no need for it to be dug out or any weights or anything like that. So that worked really well. I'm excited about that. Really helped make this a fun, simple, quick build. And anytime you build something, it's very satisfying and gratifying seeing your work finalized. Same thing when I built my bat signal. It's just really nice to see it come together, and you worked hard on it, you made your own. It's really nice. it's even better when it's a very simple process and simple build. So I'm really, really excited about this. Now, like I said, this is going to be the front side of the stone. This is going to be the back side just because I think the front looks a little better, especially with that paint I chipped off there, which is unfortunate. I could probably touch it up, but I'm not that worried about it. Also, this cut on the back side looks a little worse than it does on the front side. The front side looks really good. Just part of where I slipped a little bit on the Dremel, but not a big deal. Pulling this in and out is actually a little harder than I thought it would be, so. There you have it. You're ready to roll England. I'm going to put this side in because I think the etching's not as worn as the other side, so. Shove her in there. Like I said, it's got some good resistance to it, which is good. You don't want it being loose and then falling out or anything like that. But overall, this is just a really, really fantastic build. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Obviously, you know, it's a cheap sword, it's nothing special, but the overall package, it looks so cool, so nice by the time you're done. I'm really, really happy with it, especially because, you know, this is how it was originally supposed to be displayed, just hanging wall plaque. And, you know, this isn't bad, but when we can do better, and I know we can do better, especially really easily, really cheaply, this is the way to go. This is how Excalibur should be displayed. You know, it is the sword and stone. And it does look pretty awesome like that. So I might, I'm still not sure, but I might in the future go back and add a little bit of moss or something up at the top. Just to kind of bring out some details down there. Not quite sure. I'm really happy with the way it turned out, so I might just leave it. I might go back, who knows. But that's something, if you wanted to replicate this build yourself, you want to add a little bit more detail, maybe put some black wash on the rock, bring out some more of those textures and stuff like that. You know, it really helps sell the piece, make it seem more realistic than what it is. But it looks pretty satisfying now, pretty realistic. So that is all for now. I think now that I got this simple, quick project out of the way, I'm going to try to go back on that Millennium Falcon project, get full speed on it. I've not picked up any more parts for it yet, but I've picked up some more acrylic black washes and some other type of paints and stuff. I want to go ahead and start weathering what I have. Trying to get a feel of direction for weathering. I've not done a whole lot of stuff like that on models or anything like that before, so that's going to be a whole new process for me. I'm also still debating on the diorama, which one I'm going to go with. I've asked around on a few forums and Facebook pages, and I've got it narrowed down to about 2 dioramas I want to do. One of the 2 depends on how much room I've got. I really don't have too awful much room in this room to do a diorama, period. But it just seems like it'd be such a cool thing to do. So stay tuned for that. That's coming, along with a bunch more movie reviews, a bunch more prop reviews. I got tons more stuff to still review. So stay tuned for all that. Make sure you subscribe. Leave me some thumbs up, some comments. And if you want to stay up to date on our videos, make sure you hit the notification bell. Like I said, we've got tons more stuff coming in the future. So stay tuned. Until next time, see ya.